I was wondering if you could speak further upon what step 4 is and bring more clarity to that.
Step 4 is having accomplished a steady point of attraction. Step 4 is truly unconditional living. Step 4 is so steady that things that used to bother you don't, that things that would have knocked you over don't. Mm-hmm. Step 4 is living in conditions and receiving benefit from all of them.
No matter what.
Well, we can't say no matter what because alignment is required.
Oh, true. Mm-hmm.
In other words, it's because step 1 is, you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, launching the rocket. But that rocket is not very well practiced by you because it was born out of the contrast of knowing what you don't want. That's worth talking about. Do you know that in every particle of the universe is that which is wanted and lack of it? So when you pick up the stick that says money on one end of it, there is an equivalent lack of money on the other end of it. And the question is, which are you in vibrational accord with, you see? So when you launch a desire, if you really, really, really want something, your awareness of the absence of it is going to be very unpleasant to you, really, really unpleasant. If you sort of want it, you sort of feel uncomfortable in the absence of it. And so when you realize that this wanted and unwanted are available for your focus at all times, and that it is just what your practiced law of attraction is going to bring to you the next logical step from where you're offering a vibration. So that's why we're saying you can accomplish this so much more easily by leaving the conditions that you've practiced into such a wobble out of the equation and focus upon subjects like emotions that you have not practiced into such a wobble. It's just so much easier to start and allow it to increase rather than to try to fix the wobble after the wobble's gotten going. Mm-hmm. Don't you know that from your own physics? Esther knows that from her Audi. She knows enough not to let that Audi get out of control. Mm-hmm. Because once it's out of control, it's going to be harder to stay in her body.
Ooh. Good point.
Does that answer that?
Yes.
So now what?
I just wanted clarity on step 4 because I've heard you mention it. So,
Step 1, I know what I don't want, I know what I do want, launch the rocket. Step 2, source becomes the vibrational equivalent of it and holds it in a powerful, steady, vibrational path available to you, provided you're in the vicinity of it. Step 3, get in the vicinity of it somehow. Easiest way, start general and allow yourself to become a vibrational match to it. And so, consider this. So you've launched the rocket and launched the rocket and launched the rocket, and it's been going on for a long time, and there's a vortex with such momentum we can't even find words to speak about it. The power of your vortex, of all that you have become, at a very high frequency, fast-moving vibration. Mm-hmm. So here you are. You start out with this very gentle, non-resisted vibration. And because law of attraction is responding to what you've got going on, it builds and it builds quickly until the momentum of who you are becomes the equivalent of the momentum that's in your vortex. And then what happens is it moves seamlessly into your realization. And the first manifestation is an idea accompanied by an emotion. In other words, ooh, what a good idea that is. And that's the path unfolding. In other words, you know what to do. Suddenly you're clear. You know what to do. You know where you want to be. You know who to call. You know how you want to feel. You know what you want to do. It's just never. So are you sort of getting it? That if you start there and let it build and start there and build it, you're going to be rendezvousing with more and more and more and more and more of what's already moving around in your vortex until you will be the realizer of it. Didn't you find that when you first began to listen to this material? Didn't you find a surge of things that you've been wanting for a while coming into fruition for you? Mm-hmm. It's usually what people say to us, is that things that I'd been wanting began coming into being. And we want you to understand, we want you to realize that they're coming into your realization. That's a subject for a whole other book. a whole other book. That's the Turning Thoughts to Things. Can you set your radio dial on 98 and hear what's being broadcast on 92? The frequencies have to match up. For you to realize the song that is being played on the station that you want to hear, you've got to set your tuner, otherwise you're not going to realize it. And the same thing is true of everything in this universe. You have to tune your tuner to the vibrational frequency of what you want. So maybe you have to take our word for it that what you want is a very high, fast, pure frequency, but you don't have to take our word for it very long as you stumble into alignment and have a manifestation, and stumble into alignment and have a manifestation, and then better still, start doing it on purpose and have a manifestation, and start doing it on purpose till you begin moving through the world and you wonder, I don't know what I was ever worried about. I don't know why I ever worried about anything. I'm invincible. Anything I want, all I have to do is speak it, and the universe finds some way of delivering it to me. Because you're now no longer offering vibrations that prevent you from realizing the path, the glorious, delicious path, the never-ending path, the endless path, the eternal, joyous path that is you see. Got to get on it if you want to feel good, and we know you want to feel good, so you got to get on it. If you want to feel good, you got to get on it. We know you want to feel good, so you got to get on it. Got to get on if you want to feel good. We know you want to feel good, so you got to get on it. You got to feel good. Got to feel good. Got to find some way to feel good. Feel as good as you can feel. Find something to think about that allows you to feel good, like the kids do. They get as far away from you as they can usually. Good time for a segment of refreshment.